forth when their fellow law enforcement members put out the call for assistance. Mr. Homan's words of encouragement and support for these brave men and women of Lake 3rd Platoon was incredible. Today was not about politics or disagreements over specific policies. The meeting today with Mr. Homan was about supporting the men and women on the front lines here in Rochester and beyond. From the time we first met Mr. Homan at the Major Cities Conference in Nashville, his message has never changed. He has our backs, and that means everything to the members of the Locust Club. We are grateful. We are also grateful that other police union representatives from across the country took the time to join us today. Together, we are all coming together today with the same message: cops support cops, first, last, and always. I'd like to now introduce Mr. Mike Salone from UCOPS, Vinny Velalong from the New York City Sergeants Benevolent Association, and Bobby Kavico of the State of Hawaii Association of Police Officers. So I'll turn it over to...
Thank you, Jeff. Good afternoon. My name is Mike Solan. That's S-O-L-A-N, President of the Seattle Police Officers Guild and the United Coalition of Public Safety. UCOPS represents tens of thousands of law enforcement professionals from across the nation. The issue of public safety is extremely important to all of us. United, we are partnered and honored to work with Tom Homan and our federal agencies from across the nation. Tom's message that cops should back up other cops couldn't be more truthful, and it's based in common sense. Politics should never be inserted into public safety, ever. I want to thank the police officers from the Rochester Police Department, and especially for Jeff and Paul's leadership with the Rochester Police Locust Club. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
My name is Vincent Vallelong. I'm the president of the Sergeants Benevolent Association. Last name is common spelling, so it's V-A-L-L-E-L-O-N-G. The reason why we came down here today, up here today actually, to support Rochester, what happened here last month can happen in any sanctuary city across this country, and it should never ever be allowed to ever happen again. People's lives are at stake, not just the cops, not just the members of the Rochester Police Department. This is all across the country. It's the citizens that we protect every single day that puts them in jeopardy also. So, like Michael said, politics does not belong in this game. When we go out and we do our job every single day, it is by the rules. We have one job to do. We do not judge. We lock up by the rule of law. We should be allowed to do our job day in and day out. That's what keeps the citizens safe. That's what keeps the taxpayers safe. And more importantly, that's what keeps our members of the service safe. So with that, I want to thank Jeff and I want to thank Paul also for allowing us to be up here today.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robert Cavaco, C-A-V-A-C-O, and I'm the president of the State of Hawaii Organization of Police Officers. We're a part of UCOPS, has, just like Mike said, different departments around the nation that support cops. And what happened here in Rochester, it's very unfortunate. You know, if it doesn't matter what agency you are, whether you're a federal agency, whether you're just county police or the sheriffs, it doesn't matter whether you serve in Seattle or whether you serve in Florida or the East Coast or back in Hawaii. If another law enforcement officer comes out on the radio and asks for help, then other law enforcement officers, including no matter which branch you serve in, we're going to respond and assist. Public safety. Doesn't matter which agency you work for. The politicians makes the law. It doesn't matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, or whatever party or whatever your political views are. That takes a back seat. The ultimate goal of law enforcement is to protect the community and to protect our police officers. And that's why we're here in support. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, any questions? Well, we'll open it up to questions. Any questions?
Jeff?
Yes. Was there Was there one thing that Mr. Homan said to you and to the people in the audience that you will remember that struck you as the most important thing you heard?
Well, I would say this, looking back on his, we had several different conversations with him, but his message to everyone in this room and to the guys and girls from Lake Third when we were upstairs with them is that he was here to support them. And military and police term, he said, "I got your six," meaning I got your back. And he did. He followed through. He said he was coming to Rochester. He said he wanted to support the men and women of the Rochester Police Department and the Rochester Police Locust Club. And he was true to his word. And he came here and he was well received, and we appreciated everything he did because we felt very comfortable with his message that he had our back.
Do you think he understands the nuance of the problem here? It's that your officers were put in a position where they had to execute an arrest,
Yep.
so to speak.
And
Does
I
he
think
understand that? Did he apologize at all for that situation happening?
On behalf of,
Well, on behalf of the federal officers who were standing behind your officers.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. So,
I don't think anybody objects. I don't think anybody has ever objected to RPD officers going to that scene to help the federal officers when they were in trouble. The problem started when your officers, RPD officers, were put into a position where they had to put their hands on the people that were being detained.
No,
I wonder if he acknowledged that problem and if he apologized for it.
no, he didn't, and I don't know if he acknowledged it or not. He didn't present that to us, but we don't see it that way. I've used this example numerous times. It could have been the FBI, it could have been the DEA, it could have been the Town of Gates Police Department that were requesting assistance, and that's what our officers did. They went there and they assisted. They had no idea what was going on there. They went there to assist another law enforcement agency, and I don't think there's any apologies due on that side of things from the federal side of things or from our members. They did what we are trained to do, and honestly, I've said this before, is that if they didn't, I'd be concerned that they didn't respond to assist them.
So just to be clear then, if immigration agents come into town and they just want assistance on any case, you're saying that Rochester Police should be allowed to help in any type of immigration work?
Right now, it's my understanding that we do not assist them on anything that they are currently doing regarding HSI or ICE or any of those things. We don't have the manpower to assist in those types of things. That agency does their thing, but like I said, anytime anybody's calling for assistance, we're going to go, we're going to help, and then we're going to move on.
But I guess what if they start calling all the time?
I don't know. I mean, it's probably a department policy issue that we're going to have to address at some point. I don't know what the game plan is for the city of Rochester or anything like that. All I know is that when people are calling for help, we're going.
The policy right now seems to be that you are allowed to respond in the case of an emergency called in by federal
Correct.
Immigration enforcement. But once, as in this case, once you arrive in there, doesn't seem to be any emergency. That seems to be, by policy, the end of the RPD's involvement in it.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to understand, when should they, if you're saying we're understaffed and we don't have the resources to respond to every call, what should the policy be then?
I'll step in here for a second, because I think we're getting a little muddy in the water here. When that traffic stop was made and those people failed to exit that vehicle, that is an officer safety concern. Hundreds of people get shot. Dozens die every year, police officers that are on traffic stops. The fact that they weren't getting out of the car, even though they were being peaceful, you don't know what's behind those doors. So in this particular situation that we'll talk about, which is the here and the now that we know about, those officers did the right thing by calling a uniformed support. It has been proven time and time again that there are groups that are telling these individuals, don't respond to ICE, don't respond to HSI, don't respond to the plainclothes people, but comply with the lawful orders of a uniformed police officer. And that's what happened today. That's what happened back on March 24th. There is still a threat that was behind those doors. Just because there was no active engagement doesn't mean that there wasn't a threat. And that's what our officers acted upon, and that's what they will continue to act upon. I'll touch base a little bit on what Mr. Chodak asked. They're not going to call us for everyday investigations. That is clearly against our general orders and our general policy for that. But if they are there and there is a situation that arises like that again, our officers are expected to go and they are expected to back those federal agents up, and that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what they will continue to do moving forward. However, they're not going to take part in immigration enforcement. That's not our job. They know that's not our job. The federal agencies know that's not our job, and they won't ask. Did that clarify that portion?
I think so. I'm trying to just understand what you're saying is they are not supposed to get involved in immigration actions. That's the responsibility of the federal government. When they arrived and they got them out of the vehicle, they handcuffed them and then handed them over. They were assisting in an immigration action. So I'm just trying to understand.
I apologize. Where in that body camera footage does it show that they were enforcing an immigration?
When
That
they
was
put
the
handcuffs on.
But that was the Department of Homeland Security investigation. We don't know what they were wanted for. At no point did our officers ever ask what their legal status was. They got called there for help. They went, they responded, they placed them in handcuffs, which makes that scene safe, and then they walked away. That's the end of it.
Why didn't they ask what they were responding to? Like, you just handcuff people and don't ask what they did or anything?
The reason that they didn't, they were told that the people failed to exit the car. Our immediate response to that is an officer safety concern on what's behind that door. There's no, you can't see you could see in the front windows. You had no idea what was going on in the back.
But once they were out of the car,
They were handcuffed and walked away.
Yeah.
And they walked away, and the officers walked away.
By your officers who didn't know what they did, why they were being handcuffed, why they were being handed off. It was just.
So by your definition right now, what you're asking for us to do is ask people's immigration status, ask exactly what the investigation is for?
HSI why we are being asked to handcuff these people. I think you should ask what the charges are before you do it.
So noted. Next question.
Just a point of clarification, I think that you answered a question that I had walking away from the first Locust Club presser that we had on this. There was a suggestion that there might have been some type of physical interaction between immigration officials and those in the van, which sparked the call to Rochester Police. You're saying that that did not happen?
I don't know.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, no. I don't know what the exact call was not to my knowledge.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Well, thank all of you for coming here today, and have a great day. Hopefully you can beat the rain on the way out. So.
Thank you.